that shortly. As I explained, all classes are recorded and recordings uploaded on YouTube. It's easier for students to access. Okay, so just a thumbs up again if you can see the slides. Okay, lovely. Just protocol. While I'm teaching, I'm focusing. I have the window with the slides open in front of me, not the Teams window. So I won't see if you are raising your hand. If you want to interrupt, if you have a question or anything, please do feel free to just speak up and call out my name, attract my attention, and then I will give you the opportunity to speak. On the other hand, please keep your mics off, keep your mics muted. If you're not specifically addressing me, keep your mics muted so that we don't have background noise. Okay, so this last week we looked at the Namibian Constitution. Namibian Constitution, as you know from studying commercial law, Constitution is the most important law in Namibia, and all other laws that we have are subject to the Constitution. This is not to say, however, that we don't have other important laws as well. There are a variety of different laws in Namibia that pertain to traffic and transportation. Most important one of these is the Road Traffic and Transportation Act. Remember, I told you you have to have a copy of the Road Traffic and Transportation Act. But in this unit, we are looking at some other pieces of legislation, acts of parliament that pertain to transportation. By the way, this is Unit 4. If you look at your course outline, remember Units 2 and 3 are not in the syllabus this year, in the schedule this year. We're leaving them out. They will not be assessed, not in the tests, not in the exam. So Units 4, doing Unit 4 then today. Unit 4, overview of the national traffic and transport legislation applicable to Namibia. Learning objectives, always remember to go back to your learning objectives. So the first three pieces of legislation that we look at are fairly closely related. The Roads Contractor Company Act, the Roads Authority Act, and the Road Fund Administration Act. These three laws date back to 1999. They were passed by Parliament in close succession of each other. These three acts create three closely related state-owned enterprises. These were divisions of formerly at the time the Ministry of Works and Transport. The decision was then made to create these separate state-owned enterprises to fulfill these particular functions. So Roads Contractor Company, Roads Authority, and Road Fund Administration. Roads Contractor Company. The Roads Contractor Company is a company that builds roads, exactly what the name says. Roads Contractor Company is responsible for the construction and maintenance of roads. Not only roads, they also other construction work. So the roads contractor company builds the roads. Be careful, however, the roads contractor company is not the only company in Namibia that builds roads. There are many private contractors as well that are involved in the construction of roads. The Roads Authority. Roads Authority has got three main functions, namely the management of the national road network in Namibia, to advise and assist the Minister of Works or any other approved authority regarding the planning, design, construction, and maintenance of roads, for whether such roads are part of the national road network or not. So even in a local authority area, say Windhoek, for example, the Roads Authority will also advise and assist if necessary. And then they are also tasked with road safety. So the management of the national road network, what does that involve? Managing the national road network involves a number of different aspects, starting off with planning, design, construction, and maintenance of roads. So they will make sure that the roads are regularly maintained. They also have done their planning for the future projections, roads that are necessary to be built, etc., etc. So they are in charge. But if it says planning, design, and construction, just be careful. The Roads Authority does not build roads. What we mean by that management of the main of the road network includes construction, doesn't mean they're physically building the roads. They are in charge of making sure that these roads are built, but they appoint contractors to do the actual physical work. Quality control, of course, very important. Quality control of materials to make sure that these roads that are built are well built and will last. They have a supervisory role. They appoint the contractors and supervise their work. Then operation of the road management systems. I'm sure you're all acquainted with this. Road management system includes NATIS, Namibia Traffic Information System, where you register your vehicle and apply for your driver's license. And then, of course, roads are expensive, so they have to be looked after. Prevention of excessive damage to roads, specifically by way of load mass charges. If your car is particularly big or heavy, you have to have a permit and you have to pay. Then also road safety. So if we just go back to what the Roads Authority does, they advise the minister and local authorities. Then they are responsible for the management of the national road network and responsible for road safety. With regard to the road safety aspect, I need to clarify because there are various other entities that are also responsible for road safety. And very often, I'm sure you've all seen them, we have billboards around at the side of the road, don't drink and drive, arrive alive, road safety, etc., etc. But when we're talking Roads Authority, this is not their job. This is not the aspect of road safety that they attend to. When it gets to road safety, How is the Roads Authority involved in road safety? By setting down minimum standards and measures for the management and maintenance of roads to ensure that we achieve a safe road system, to ensure compliance with international obligations of the state. Namibia has entered into a number of different international agreements regarding road safety and the standards of roads. So to ensure that our roads meet these standards, um, that's the job of the Roads Authority. And of course, that transportation and roads cause as little damage as possible, the least possible disruption of the environment. So involved in road safety, but by way of ensuring that the minimum standards of quality have been met to make sure that our road system is safe. I'm sure you all know, and we can all be proud, that Namibia's road safety is definitely one of the best, at least in Southern Africa. Then the Road Fund Administration. The Road Fund Administration is the state-owned enterprise that holds the purse, that deals with the money. You might have noticed also, if you are paying your annual license fee for your car, you pay it to NATIS, which is part of the Roads Authority. NATIS resorts here under the operation of road management systems. You get NATIS. So when you go and renew your license, you renew it at NATIS. But when you pay, the payment is made out to the Road Fund Administration. You don't pay the Roads Authority. They will receive your money, but it's paid over into the account of the Road Fund. The Road Fund Administration manages the Road Fund. How do they do this? What does this entail? Management of the Road Fund entails imposing and collecting road user charges, determining the amount of funding to be made available through the road user charging system, and the allocation of these funds. So they collect the money, they see how much is available, and they allocate these funds to the Roads Authority and other approved authorities, including the MVA fund, the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund. So what is this road fund used for? Road fund is used to pay the cost of the management of the national road network, the construction and maintenance of major urban arterial roads, traffic-related maintenance of roads in local authorities, maintenance of traffic information system, and traffic law enforcement. So the money that the road fund collects is paid into the road fund, which is then used for these items, these aspects indicated on the slide: management, construction, maintenance, traffic information system, and traffic law enforcement. So where do they get the money? Where does the money come from? Money that goes into the road fund includes all monies collected in respect of road user charges, monies allocated to them, appropriated by Parliament. Annually, the Minister of Finance has his budget speech, and various ministries are allocated certain amounts of money for the financial year. This is what is referred to here. Donations and grants, they can have the right to borrow money from loans received. If somebody damaged a road and they were taken to court, money relating to compensation, and then any fines imposed in respect of the overloading of vehicles. So this is the source of their funds. Money put into the fund by the government, by Parliament. Road user charges go into the road fund, and then some other minor aspects as well. Two main sources of funds are monies collected in respect of road user charges and money appropriated by Parliament. Road user charges, what are they? Road user charges, the mass distance charges for heavy vehicles. I mentioned if you have a heavy or a very large vehicle, you need a permit and you pay. They have engineers that calculate how much you must pay. These are known as mass distance charges. Entry fees in respect of motor vehicles not registered in Namibia. So if somebody from South Africa or Botswana or whatever cross into Namibia, if they cross the border, they have to pay an entry fee. This one is what we all pay on a regular basis: registration and annual license fee in respect of motor vehicles registered in Namibia. We all have to register our vehicles and pay annual license fees. And then the fuel levy. For every liter of fuel you buy, every dollar you spend on fuel, a portion of that is referred to as the fuel levy, which is paid into the road fund and then subsequently distributed to the entities that receive money from the road fund. Any questions about this? Okay, so those three state-owned enterprises are closely connected. The motor vehicle accident, the road contractor company, the roads authority, and the road fund administration. I can also ask you in your assessments to distinguish between these three state-owned enterprises with regard to their function. So make sure that you can do that. Another state-owned enterprise, this is one is a little bit older, goes back to 2007, the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund. Motor Vehicle Accident Fund Act established the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund. Purpose of the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund is firstly to implement motor vehicle accident and injury prevention measures. So in this regard, the MVA fund is also involved in road safety. Most of these billboards that you will see, these advertisements, originate from the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund. So one of their prime tasks is to try to prevent accidents. But of course, all accidents cannot be prevented. And in the event that somebody was injured in a motor vehicle accident, then they will give financial assistance. If you were injured in a motor vehicle accident, you will be able to claim from the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund. Or if you were killed, your dependents, or if you were dependent on somebody who was killed in an accident, the Motor Vehicle Fund Act will also pay benefits to you. Not only do they pay benefits to the people that were injured or dependents of people killed, but the purpose of this is also to indemnify the drivers and or owners of vehicles that were involved in accidents, to indemnify them from claims. Because if you were in a motor vehicle accident, you can only claim once. The purpose of the fund is also not to make you rich. So they will pay your actual expenses, say your medical treatment, etc., etc. But if the MVA fund has paid you, you cannot subsequently claim from the other person who was involved in the accident, the vehicle, the driver of the other car. You don't have two claims. You can only claim once. Where does the money come from? Money from the MVA fund comes from the road fund. So the road fund administration also disburses some money from the road fund into the MVA fund. Questions? Okay, those are then, that's legislation pertaining that established state-owned enterprises that are related or closely related to traffic and transportation. Oh, I forgot to mention this. It gets to another task of the MVA fund is accident report, accident response. If there was a motor vehicle accident, they will send out an ambulance to transport the injured persons to the nearest hospital or treatment facility. Okay, moving on then. The Motor Vehicle Theft Act. Now, something you need to understand is that the crime of stealing a motor vehicle is not created in the Motor Vehicle Theft Act. Motor Vehicle Theft Act dates back to 1999. Stealing a car was already a crime a long time before 1999. You did Commercial Law 1A, you learned the difference between common law and statutory law. Now, the crime of theft, stealing something, whether it is money or a car or a television set or whatever, theft is a common law crime. The crime of stealing a motor vehicle was not created in the Motor Vehicle Theft Act. Instead, the purpose of the Motor Vehicle Theft Act is to assist the state, to assist authorities in certain instances where a crime has been committed, but they might not be able to directly, in terms of common law, convict the accused person of theft. So rather than having them then get away scot-free, being able to walk away, the Motor Vehicle Theft Act has created a number of additional crimes, related crimes, to assist authority in instances where motor vehicles or motor vehicle parts have been stolen or suspected of being stolen, or where stolen motor vehicles or motor vehicle parts are being sold. So they won't use the Motor Vehicle Theft Act to convict you of stealing a car, but they can use the Motor Vehicle Theft Act to possibly convict you of dealing in stolen vehicles or stolen vehicle parts. So even if they can't prove that you actually stole the car, it could have been somebody else, you won't walk away. You will be convicted of additional crimes. Also increases the powers of the Namibian police force, their powers of search, seizure, and arrest when they suspect crimes relating motor vehicles have been committed. And there's also a section which deals with unclaimed motor vehicles, how the government must go about dealing with these. So the offences, just some of the offences that are created in the Motor Vehicle Theft Act. As I explained, these are alternative offences to the crime of actually stealing the vehicle. Is possession of a motor vehicle which is suspected to be stolen, coming into possession of a stolen vehicle without having reasonable reason to believe that it's the property from the person from whom it was received, selling stolen motor vehicle parts, or selling motor vehicles of which the identification marks have been tampered with or falsified. So not the actual crime of stealing, related crimes. The Road Safety Act. Road Safety Act, related in function to the road safety function of the Motor Vehicle Fund Act, and the MVA Fund, the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund, and the Road Safety Council often work together. They have the same aim in mind. National Road Safety Council, to prepare a comprehensive research program, collect information in connection to road safety, give guidance by means of mass communication media. So advertisements, social media, billboards, etc. And then assisting, once again, giving advice and assistance to the Minister of Works. So there's an overlap here between the National Road Safety Council and the MVA Fund. They go hand in hand, they work together. A bit of an obscure piece of legislation. We don't deal with it that often, but it does relate to roads, which is why we have included it here. Very, very old piece of legislation, actually even older than I am, goes all the way back to 1960. The Advertising on Roads and Ribbons Development Ordinance. Roads and ribbons, the ribbon, that is the part at the side of the road. This particular act is more relevant actually to registration of property, land registration, but there is a section of the act which regulates the placement of advertisements near public roads, or the erection of structures near to proclaimed roads and access to and from these roads. And also it regulates drive-in cinemas, but we don't have drive-in cinemas. Those stopped existing many years ago. So the Advertising on Roads and Ribbons Development Ordinance regulates how and what the manner that you may place advertisements close to proclaimed roads. It's obviously important that this must be regulated so that these advertisements don't interfere with the free flow of traffic or don't cause a distraction. By the way, for the sake of completeness, I have included the number of the relevant legislation. You will not be expected to remember that. Don't need to break your heads over 30 of 1960, etc., etc. Then quite an important piece of legislation, which is still very, very much effective in Namibia. You might ask about why are we still using pre-independence legislation? For the simple reason that there's absolutely nothing wrong with this particular act. The roads ordinance, it's still an ordinance because it's pre-independence. It plays a vital role in our traffic and transportation law. There has been no reason to change it because it's still perfectly functional. The roads ordinance provides for the division of roads into 4 classes. We get trunk roads, main roads, district roads, and farm roads. And then also for each of these classes of roads, there is a prescribed area at the side of the road named the road reserve, where no construction may take place. And the prescribed width, how big the road reserve must be, is also prescribed in the roads ordinance. Roads ordinance also provides for the establishment of roads boards. So any area outside the jurisdiction of a local authority, there will be a roads board can be established to give the necessary assistance and advice to the minister, and also deal with applications relating to the proclamation of new roads, closing roads, etc., etc. We still have plenty of roads boards. They play an important role still. And you will find more detail of this in the notes. Remember, the PowerPoint slides do not replace the notes. The roads ordinance also deals with infringements and obstructions on or interference with proclaimed roads, deals with fences and gates, where these fences or gates may be or may not be, as well as with road route markers, prescribed road route markers, what they look like, where they must go, etc., etc. Okay. Questions? That's it for today. Any questions? Okay, I'll have recorded. Thank you so much. And we'll